que conoce muy bien el mercado de España, también podrá darnos algunos ejemplos y añadir un poco o completar lo que nos esté contando Sara, y si os parece al final pues podemos hacer alguna pregunta si tenéis alguna pregunta, ¿vale? Sí que es verdad que hay 25 tenemos que cortar porque tienen que salir corriendo, pero vamos, yo creo que tenemos tiempo más que suficiente. So, Sara, please. Sorry for the Spanish introduction, but I think it was easier.
My apologies that I do not speak Spanish, so thank you for joining us, and again, my apologies for my English. Thank you so much to everyone for joining this morning. I am here for about 24 hours, and it has been an exciting 24 hours, and my particular visit demonstrates the importance of Spain in our business, both the short-term and long-term trajectory of Twitter as a whole. So thank you very much for all of the work that you guys do to help support us and to write about us, and a special thank you to Natalie, who is one of the most exceptional leaders that we have across the whole of the business. Yeah, take it.
Thank you.
That's publicly on the record. So I wanted to zoom out for a moment and talk a little bit about Twitter as a whole, and then I'll hand it over to you to answer any questions that you might have. Does that work for folks? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So the way that I like to describe Twitter is that Twitter moves at the speed of culture and the speed of conversation. So every single day, people wake up here and around the world to understand what's happening in the news, what's happening with key topics that they care about, such as television shows, celebrities, topics of conversation that are important to them, to understand what events have occurred both in their market locally or around the world. And as a result, this is why Twitter is what is happening in the world. It is reflective of publicly what is occurring at any given moment. It is reflective of real-time live activity that's occurring in the world, and real-time live conversation that's happening in the world. And it is global, so it is distributed to people across every single market and every location around the world. That makes up an incredible composite of a experience that forms on both your home timeline as well as through your Explore tab that guides you to news, to entertainment, to fun topics, to business topics that people care about. As a result, the reason why people or the mindset that people are in when they come to the platform is one that is focused on leaning in and learning. And because they are leaning in and they are learning, because they are connected to publishers, they're connected to subject matter experts, they're connected to leaders in the forefront of different topics, it is different from passively viewing an experience that is curated by your friends and family, and it's one that is curated by the best in that particular topic. So we find with our audience that we have the most valuable audience when people are most receptive. This is a key differentiator for why our clients and our advertisers are so excited to work with us. It is true that there are people on our platform that might be on other platforms, but because they are in this discovery mindset when they come to Twitter to understand what is happening today and what's happening in the world, they are actually more leaned in to reviewing the feed experience for learning. They're more receptive to learning about new brands. They are more eager to engage in conversation with those brands, and we have found that as a result, it has proven to drive results for clients and advertisers around the world. Usually, we have an average global ROI of $3.36, which we are incredibly proud of, and continue to work with advertisers to be able to manage and optimize their campaigns. So the net of that is what we say to clients is start with them. start with this audience that is super leaned in, that's super influential, that helps to spark conversation around brands, around key messages, and around products that they care about, to share with their broader network of friends and families around the world. Usually what starts on Twitter as a conversation and cultural movement reverberates or extends and expands from Twitter to many other platforms, both online and offline. So starting with Twitter always ensures that it's an amplifier to any campaign that a client might be launching, and or any campaign where they're trying to connect to the conversation and be culturally relevant today. So we'll pause for a moment. See. Hi, you joining us?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Me quedo por aquí si queréis.
We were just setting up a little bit about what is Twitter, and then I was going to go into sort of the key components that I think have driven to successful execution on the platform based on the Q2 results that we recently reported. So when we think about Q2 and the public results that we shared, we had a growth of about 18% year over year in terms of revenue. On a constant currency basis, that's about a 20% increase year over year. We also saw double-digit user growth as well. And so if I zoom out from those results, I like to talk about a variety of different pillars that all start with the letter P. So I'll talk about the platform, I'll talk about product, people, and ultimately, I think, our priority. So the first thing in terms of priority, the number one priority for our company is delivering on the health of the public conversation. So we are extremely focused, both from a product perspective, as well as from a policy perspective, and ensuring that healthy conversations are possible each and every day on the platform. And as a result of this focus, looking back over the course of the last 12 to 18 months, we've continued to see a decline in the number of spammy reports and abuse reports that are coming from the platform. We most recently launched a test in Canada called Author Moderated Replies that also shares the responsibility of being able to own and diagnose where the health of the conversation sits with the conversational thread that you are creating today. We have had incredible results from that test, and we will continue to look to expand that above and beyond that particular market. But it's one example of where, from a product perspective, we are continuing to move with speed and velocity to help ensure that we are serving the public conversation, but really driving healthy conversations as our top priority. The second area is around what I would say profitability. So from a revenue perspective and from a profitability perspective, we're reported in Q2, as I mentioned before, double-digit growth on the revenue side, and continue to drive in Q2 profitability overall. So we can talk a little bit more about the execution on the ads business as well, related to that in a moment. On the product side, I look at product in two ways. I look at it based on our advertising product, or our revenue product, and I look at it based on our consumer product. On the consumer product side, we will continue to invest in making the conversation on our platform more fast, more fluid, and ultimately more fun. So we introduced a prototype called Little T about maybe 9 months ago, and we've invited thousands of people to join us on that prototype to experiment with us on different ways to engage in the conversation around key topics that they care about. We've learned a ton from that experiment, and as we learn, we will continue to scale into our larger Twitter application. On the revenue side, there have been a variety of different areas that we have invested in order to ensure that we are executing it to the best of our abilities and can continue to support and meet the needs of our advertisers and brand clients at large. The first one has been a significant investment in video. So if you zoom out for a moment, if you think about the world as going mobile, increasingly mobile is becoming video. And by the end of the year 2020, we will actually be at 80% of all mobile traffic will be through video. On our platform, we see a very similar trend to both consumer behaviors as well as advertising behaviors. So we have invested in bringing in-stream video sponsorships to market. We have invested in in-stream video ads. We have invested in our website video card, our video website card, and we've invested in bringing new products to market such as things called Spotlight, where we're testing in individual markets and then we'll scale more globally around the world. Those investments on video have been significant, and video represents over 50% of our revenue today and is one of our key growth drivers. Another area where we are highly focused is on the modernization of our overall ad server. So we will continue to make sure that we are creating the most performant business possible for our clients. We have actually seen in our investment in the modernization of our ad server, we have actually seen a 4% improvement to cost per engagement, which essentially means that we are able to find and match the right people with the right message at the right time, making sure that that people are seeing the most relevant ad possible for them. So that has been a particularly important thing. As we think about the future of Twitter, we will also continue to invest in improving our performance products, specifically related around MAP, which is our mobile app install and mobile app engagement offering. And that is something that we're looking at into the future. So that's sort of an area to look at from an advertising perspective, which has been directly focused on meeting the needs of our clients in market today. So I went through profitability, I went through two parts of product, I went through purpose, and I think the last piece is also on people. Both people inside of our company who are exceptional, and we have this concept of care more, which really leans into listening and understanding the business problems that our clients have, caring for them and also caring for each other. But when I say people, I also mean people related to user growth on the platform. So we have been very specifically focused on continuing to drive user growth for Twitter as a whole. And we were able to report back in Q2 that we saw increased double-digit user growth, and that will continue to be a key priority for the company as a whole. So that sort of takes you through a variety of pillars that focus on the execution of performance that we were able to share out in Q2. I will pause there. Happy to answer any questions or go deeper on any of the areas that I just mentioned before.
Go over the case studies and come up with examples. Yeah.
Perfect. So Natalie is here with me as well, who obviously is our key leader in this market. But we've been, over the course of the last couple of days, yesterday and today, meeting with a variety of clients as well. And some of the case studies that I think are exceptional are the examples of working with Procter & Gamble around their relaunch or their launch of a new product that's focused on women with gray hair through their Pantene line. And we've been able to listen to the conversation that people are having around gray hair on the platform today to help spark insights and a strategy for Pantene via Procter in order to better connect with these women. You want to share a little bit around what you guys did there?
Sure. Voy a cambiar el español, a lo mejor es más fácil para todos. Un poco en línea lo que decía Sarah, que la he hablado antes, de lo que hemos visto un poco el éxito detrás de los resultados, ¿no? Es este valor que tenemos, que es ayudar a las marcas a conectar con los usuarios. Y cuando hablamos de conectar con los usuarios, es conectar también con lo que hemos dicho, lo que es relevante en este momento, de qué están hablando de la gente, ¿no? Entonces, en este ejemplo con Procter & Gamble, lo que han dicho es, queremos entender qué se está diciendo hoy en día en Twitter sobre las canas. Pues bueno, un poco a lo mejor curioso como tópico, pero como tienen un producto para justamente las personas con canas, lo que hemos hecho es trabajar con ellos para crear un contenido que analiza la conversación en Twitter para saber pues qué piensan los españoles sobre la gente que tienen canas. Y bueno, no creo que es una gran sorpresa, pero aquí tenéis datos para verlo, pues se opina que los hombres con canas pues son elegantes, interesantes, las mujeres que tienen canas pues se descuidan. Entonces, pues tienes todo un contenido con data e información sobre lo que la gente está opinando, lo que dicen, cuáles son las palabras asociadas con las canas, donde al final Procter & Gamble y con compañía dice, yo me voy a asociar a esta conversación, ¿vale? Pero no solamente esto. Al final te piden acción, piden al usuario de tomar acción en la plataforma diciendo, podéis hacer un retweet si creéis que las canas representan el descuido o dar un corazón que te gusta si que te parece que es una cosa de elegancia. Por lo cual, lo que están consiguiendo también con esto es que los usuarios están entrando en una conversación de una manera con la propia marca. Otro ejemplo local que hemos hecho es con Vodafone hace poco. También, evidentemente, este año Vodafone está apostando mucho por las series. Creo que sabemos todos que las series pues causan mucho furor, mucha pasión en la plataforma. Y lo que han dicho es, vamos a ver, ¿de quién están hablando la gente? Más de Juegos de Tronos, más de Stranger Things, de qué tópico, cómo en el tiempo ha cambiado la conversación, quién son los personajes más interesantes. Y entonces Vodafone se asocia a este contenido, porque al final hacen tipo un branded content sobre información en Twitter sobre las series, que por supuesto los usuarios lo ven y entonces siguen comentando si están de acuerdo o no están de acuerdo, y al final pues Vodafone comenta que todas estas series están disponibles en su plataforma. Pero es una manera distinta de conectar con lo que está pasando en este momento, lo que la gente está comentando en este momento en España. Entonces son solamente dos ejemplos de cómo podemos conectar con lo que está pasando. Do you want to talk a little bit about the launch as well, and we can talk about a local example, or should I dive into that?
You share the case study and then I'll give a little bit on the research.
Okay.
Yep.
Pues lo que hemos dicho, una cosa es conectar y otra es lo que hemos comentado son los gran lanzamientos, ¿no? Sara estaba mencionando que cuando miramos 2018 sobre 2017, pues hay casi un 50% más de lanzamiento. Ojo, cuando me refiero a lanzamiento es lanzamiento de un nuevo producto, un nuevo servicio, una nueva campaña, a lo mejor una nueva feature o una detalle del producto, ¿no? No tiene que ser un producto totalmente nuevo. Entonces, este ruido de lanzamientos, y ahí Sarah os va a explicar un poco unos estudios que hemos hecho también con una empresa de consultoría, con Bain, vamos a ver qué son los éxitos, ¿no? Pero lo que es éxito también es cómo haces la campaña y haces este lanzamiento. Hemos comentado, Twitter es lo que está pasando, es donde la gente va para enterarse de las novedades, de noticias, de lo que está pasando. Entonces es también el primer sitio donde van para enterarse de nuevos productos. Y entonces vemos más y más como las marcas se dan cuenta de justo en este momento clave del lanzamiento, Twitter tiene sentido hacer parte integral de estas campañas que están lanzando. Entonces hemos visto, por ejemplo, Samsung, que lo ha hecho a lo largo del año con productos distintos, con el QLED, que era la nueva televisión, han trabajado conectando con también temas de Juego de Tronos. Hace poco, en agosto, para el lanzamiento del nuevo Samsung Galaxy Note, no sé si lo habéis visto, os podemos mandar una campaña donde han trabajado justamente con dos creativos, donde uno ha escrito una historia, hola, buenos días, una historia durante 24 horas ha creado una historia, todo escrito en el Galaxy Note a través de un hilo en Twitter. ¿Por qué? Porque al final quieren hablar de lo que está pasando en este momento, en este caso también poniendo en valor pues el producto, que puedes hacer todo esto, excluyendo una presentación y cómico, todo en tiempo real, y la gente está enganchado siguiendo a esta historia. Entonces vemos más y más cómo estas marcas están haciendo esto también dentro de la plataforma. Y eso son un poco lo que decimos que son un poco nuestros superpoderes, para decirlo, pero son de verdad la razón por la cual más y más los anunciantes ven un valor único dentro de la plataforma. I'll switch back to you, Sarah, so you go a little bit behind the research behind them.
You talked about Samsung there, and what was the other case?
I was mentioning the different Samsung cases. I mentioned how they launched it for their televisions, then they did it again for the new
Note.
Galaxy Note,
Okay.
as an example.
Perfect, awesome. So I want to zoom out for a moment and provide a little context around launch today. So as the world has increasingly gone mobile, the purchase funnel has not just condensed, it's essentially collapsed, making it harder for products to actually, and brands to break through with product launches, with new brand launches, and with new product messages that Natalie was mentioning before. So we teamed up with a third-party consulting firm called Bain to better understand what does it take to be successful in today's environment to really break through and land a launch. And the first thing that we found out is that there are actually more launches than ever before. There are over 100 product launches that occur each and every day. This is a 27% increase from 2 years ago. So you can imagine that many product launches coming at you, trying to solidify and grab attention from people really matters, and it matters in what we also found was the first 48 hours. So those first 48 hours of any product launch, creative message launch, or product feature launch is mission critical to success. We also learned that when done effectively, those brands that launch products exceptionally well have a 1.8 times market share, 1.8x market share relative to their competitors. So this is an extremely important initiative and objective for clients to be able to get in front of successfully launching their products today. What we've learned is that with Twitter in particular, where you listen to the conversation from consumers that's happening on the platform in order to inform your launch strategy and inform your product strategy, and then you move to a tease-like campaign that helps to set the stage that something is going to occur. So for example, the recent campaign that was just broadcast live, the Nissan, thank you, example. So Nissan was teasing that they were going to be announcing through a live Periscope event this past week a new product called Juke.
Nissan Juke.
Juke, yep.
El lanzamiento que se hizo el lunes en live, había esta campaña un poco de teaser antes.
So there's the tease, then there is the official reveal or launch, that this product is officially live, it's available, this is what it looks like, this is the product feature set, and then from there, you sustain an always-on campaign that is continuously optimized based on listening to what consumers are saying about the product on the platform. That process flow of being able to listen first to consumers, then being able to tease, then being able to reveal the specific product launch, and then being able to sustain that conversation with consumers is the example of a successful playbook for brands and businesses today in the current state of a world where there's 100 products being released now each and every day. So we've worked with Bain to be able to develop different launch workshops that we take to clients to help support, both audit the work that they're doing and then be able to support how they best in class launch brands, products, and features on the platform. And those are examples that Natalie was sharing before. As an example, Samsung has done a variety of different launches on our platform in order to be able to lean into that opportunity and also to be able to lean into this audience that is so receptive to news, and then also wants to share that news out with their network, essentially.
What did you understand for a product launch?
Say that one more time.
What did you understand for a product launch? It's like a campaign or what it is?
Yeah, so the launch covers product launches, product feature launches, and creative message launches. So a product launch is literally a new product being brought to market. It could be everything from the Pantene example, where it is a product that's focused on women with gray hair, through to a new car, through to a new food item. A product feature might be a specific benefit to a brand or product set that already exists in the market today, but you're highlighting a singular feature enhancement. And then we also see that creative campaigns, new campaigns that are developed to support a specific product, are also very newsworthy on our platform, and something that people on the platform want to talk about.
So every day brands launch more than 1,000.
100, yeah, 100, yeah. And that's a 27% increase versus 2 years ago. So the marketplace is just a lot more crowded than it's ever been, which is why brands and marketers are so interested in being successful during that 48-hour period.
And you said before that 50% of your revenue comes from video.
Yep.
Okay.
If it just helps, for example, one of the campaign ones, like a new campaign, when Nike with Colin Kaepernick, which then became a global campaign, but they launched as well the new teasing campaign, and the American football player, the one that kneels in front of the American flag, that was just a campaign from Nike. It wasn't a specific campaign about a product. When they do that, that's where they turn to Twitter. And again, using that same idea of beginning with revealing, teasing a campaign, and then going live with an actual creative. That's something that we see quite a bit.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? ¿Comentario? ¿No? Pues...
Sorry, but I'm interested on. You said the audience in Twitter has grown up in Q2, I think so.
So we've been focused over the course of the last couple of years on continuing to build our user base, and we consistently report, but in Q2 we reported the continuation of increased growth.
And do you know the age?
The age of those individuals, we
yes.
don't report out on individual ages during in earnings. Yeah.
Do you have a plan focused on engage the younger audience? Because I think the younger audience, it's interesting on TikTok, for example, or Instagram, and I don't know how they use Twitter.
How youth use Twitter today, so I can't speak to TikTok or Instagram, but our audience growth is widespread across all demographics, and we tend to see people using the platform to both follow key topics and areas of interest that they're engaged in addition to sharing and conversing with other people on the platform about that particular topic. So that's a key area that we see in our user behavior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just maybe to add on to that, some of the products like Twitter Moments, the Moments product, that's actually something that's having a lot of success with younger audiences. And actually when we analyze it, Twitter's become the source for news for the younger generation. So instead of going and reading maybe the traditional newspaper, even the digital newspaper, they're using Twitter, and they're using Twitter Moments to find out about information. Because I like the fact that in one place they're having access to different news outlets. But we've done studies, and maybe with Elena we can pass it to you later on, analysis of the news news and influence and how this is being done in Spain. And we actually have some concrete data that we can share with you about the younger audience is actually turning to Twitter more and more as their news source. Going back to what's the point of Twitter, right? Twitter is where the user goes to find out what's going on. I'm not going to, connect with my friends and look at the photos from last night's party. No, I'm going to be informed to find out what's going on. And that's something that's resonating very much with the younger audience. But I think afterwards we can maybe follow up and just share that, that study with you. If the rest of you would like it, we are happy to share that with you.
And you were talking about a test in Canada for improve
Author moderated replies. Yes.
improve the or try to show on Twitter a health conversation, right? Could you explain us with
What the test is?
Yes.
Yes. So author moderated replies allows you if I start a conversation on the platform and people are responding to me, if I don't feel that someone's response is positive, has the right sentiment associated with it, but doesn't necessarily violate our policies more broadly, what author moderator replies allows me to do is to minimize that comment and drop it to the bottom of the conversation.
Okay.
This is important for two reasons. One, it gives control to the conversation owner to be able to ensure that the conversation they started has the right sensibility to it and the right emotion that they were intending. But at the same time, it does not delete that comment off of the platform. And what we're trying to balance there is our mission is to serve the public conversation. And in serving the public conversation, there are both, there can be two sides of a discussion. And we always want to make sure that we are allowing the fostering of open discussion on the platform. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that you as the user feel like you have the best experience possible. So that's why we've tested it. We had really great results, and we'll roll it out to, we'll continue to roll it out to other markets.
Until last year, Twitter had some problem about to grow their daily active users, to grow their revenue. I know in February the company was non-profitable last year.
Repeat the question.
Yes. Until last year, Twitter had some problems to grow their daily active users and to grow their revenue. What changed in the company since then? Because actually you are profitable, but last year, I don't know if you are.
Yes, we were profitable last year. Yep, for about the last 2 years. On the user growth side, we're very focused on continuing to grow our NDAU, which is our monetizable daily active users. A big part of the company's strategy is to ensure that conversations on the platform are fast, fluid, and fun, and that they happen on a daily basis. So we reported, I think 2 earnings cycles ago, a movement towards NDAU as our key metric for success on user growth. And what that means is that it's daily active users, but it's monetizable daily active users. So we are tracking the daily active growth of users in spaces on our platform that advertising can be seen. This is a leadership moment